Hi, this is Bill Walton from Bill Walton Sales Training, Amazon best-selling author and Quilly Award winner. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's part three of our three-part series as we talk about sales training, and sales leadership in times of crisis. We're just about through our second week of our process to flatten the curve in our healthcare crisis, and hopefully all of you have been adjusting as best as you can. I've been reading great stories and have an empathetic heart to all those out there trying to make things happen, trying to be good to clients, to yourself, and to your families. So thank you for taking the time to join me today. I wanted to talk to you about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, sales leadership. As a former sales leader, I spent 15 years in the field managing large sales teams across boundaries and brands, and really miss it, and I really enjoyed managing other people. I think I benefited as a manager because I in turn had great managers myself. I can think of some of the sales managers that I had that were really in my corner, and I really felt and believed that they were an advocate for my success. They held me accountable for sure, but they just had a great way to kind of balance that out and see opportunity in me that I couldn't, and have a little fun with it and really get to know me as a person. And I'm in their debt today. I don't think I would have been here without them. So that's what we'll talk about today. I truly believe sales leaders are the pivot point in an organization. They're processing what they hear from the field and from clients and customers, and working that back up into the supply chain and value chain of organizations, but also communicating strategy and vision down out to the field and down out to the marketplace, which oftentimes is no easy feat. So my hat's off again to sales leaders. So I'm excited to talk to you today. And I think the heart of our conversation today really focuses around the kind of the four behaviors or four competencies that I see in effective sales leadership. So what I thought I could do is share with you those four factors or four skills and behaviors, and then close our conversation out a little bit with some deep thoughts around good managers, how to apply some of these skills and be mindful of what to look for in terms of sales performance during these challenging times. So there's four behaviors or competencies that I look at when I think about sales leadership, and the first one is an enabler of success. What I mean by that is that's a fancy way and a long-winded way of saying coach, right? Someone who's an advocate for people doing well, putting them in positions to win, giving them the right exposures, the right experiences, the right training, the right learning and guidance, and really having that be the driver of performance on your team or in your organization, because you believe in talent and talent's linked to performance. So that's the first one, enabler of success. It's in me. It's been instilled in me at an early age. As a former athlete, certainly I loved coaches and loved being coached. So, and loved coaching in return. So that's the first one, enabler of success. The second behavior or mindset is business operator. What I mean by that is someone who can manage the numbers, manage the pipeline, manage the discipline of allocating resources and making sure everyone's on track and taking care of what they need to in terms of reporting, in terms of coverage, in terms of the blocking and tackling of executing the job in the business, no matter what business you're in. And that's a skill that hopefully is supported well by various systems and communication, lines of communication in organizations. The technology's come a long way since the days I was doing it, so I think that makes it easy for folks. So that's the second behavior. That's number two, is a good business operator. The next two are very intriguing, and I often struggle with which is more important, but I'll go with visionary. One of the things that I always liked from the sales managers that I worked with, any manager that I worked with, could help me see a vision, to help me see the interrelation of things, to help us see where we're going in terms of our strategy, help me see where I'm going in terms of my career, that they just had a sense for where the customer wanted to go from a strategic standpoint, but also tactically thinking about what's happening in a sales meeting to kind of maybe steer it in another direction or the right direction if it gets off track. So visionary is really important. So that's number three. And number four, the last skill or competency that I look for and like to bring out in folks is expert. And I think in some senses, sales managers in the past have defaulted to their expertise, either because they had the job or they've been in the marketplace for so long that they relied more on their expertise and their know-how versus other skills and other behaviors of sales leadership. But the expert piece is key, because your people need a default. They need a guideline, they need a guardrail, they need to know where the buck stops in terms of an information or a decision that needs to be made, either on policy or on some commitment, particularly when folks are negotiating. So the expert role is really key. And I think the best sales leaders use as an art as well as a science when to play these four behaviors, these four skills in working with a team. And I think the best, and I'll close this out, the third point that I wanted to make tonight was the best sales leaders have a way to do two things simultaneously. And I call this the managerial covenant. They have a way to outline the roles, the responsibilities, and the expectations, the JOB, if you will, of the work, right? The job, the requirements. But they balance that with the other side of the equation, which I call coaching and motivation, exposures, training, insights, regard. The best sales managers I ever had such a high degree of personal respect for me, and that made me want to run through a brick wall for those folks, because I knew that they cared about me, and I was able to have an opinion and a point of view. And I think that's really important for sales leaders to pull that out of people, that can balance that managerial covenant. Yes, there's the job, there's the numbers. The numbers are never going to go away, but in return, I'm going to give you the very best of what I have in terms of insights, vision, expertise. I help you manage your territory or your region like a business, but I'm also going to come at this as a coach. So that's our third video of our series, managing in a crisis environment where we are from a sales perspective, from a sales training perspective, and today was really about sales leadership. Please join us at our website, BillWaltonSalesTraining.com. Go to our blog or our events page. There's something for everyone. There's a resource. And if you don't see it there, send me an email at bwalton@BillWaltonSalesTraining.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and good selling.